Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, run it back.
Good Monday morning. Welcome to Run It Back as we all come to you from our respective homes. Shams Charania, Stadium Insider in Chicago. Chandler P., are you at the compound in Mexico?
Yeah. I got a weird situation going on with the blurry background. Figure it out.
Okay, I don't want to know. And Luke coming to us from his beautiful home in Atlanta. And we got a lot of basketball to talk about, a lot going on. Long weekend. It feels like I haven't seen you guys in a really long time. And we shall start with Rockets and Lakers. Lakers holding on to this one. By the way, Rockets are fun. I'm just throwing it out there. 105-104. LeBron with a season-high 37 points. AD had one of his good games. So there you go. 27-10. Reeves 17-6-6. And baby Jokic, Şengün with 23, 10, and 5. Shams, I want to start with you this morning because LeBron, it's like, you can't talk about it enough. He's getting older. He's doing this. He's doing that. He's been in the league 1,000 years. And yet, it seems like every game we're talking about something special that he managed to pull off. 37 points against the Rockets, year 21. What is the most impressive part of what you're seeing from him?
Yeah, I'm going to let Lou and Chandler talk about the greatest of all time. What I'm going to talk about is like his passion for the game, like the fact that at the age of 38, I mean, he's going to be 39 years old coming up in December, and still night to night, like to me, it's the passion. It's really the mind games he has to play with himself to be ready. He said after the game last night, like, it's me against Father Time, and Father Time has always been undefeated. Anytime you see a guy at the age of 33, 34, 35, when they sign contracts, whether it's Chris Paul a few years ago in Phoenix, or if they're players that sign those massive deals after the age of 34, 33, 35-ish, like there's a drop-off. But with LeBron, this is a guy that's still playing at such an elite level. He's going to have a player option next season. And I hate to talk about contracts with LeBron James, but I mean, he's still going to be a maximum level contract player at the age of 39. And that has never been seen before. So even 4 championships, all-time scoring title, the fact that he's able to get up night to night to play against the Rockets on a Sunday is what stands out to me. And also another thing, he dealt with a torn tendon like last season, and he had to get treatment. He had to visit multiple doctors over the offseason, and to get back to 100% at the age of 38 is something we've never seen before. So there's so many factors that makes everything LeBron's doing, first of its kind, first of all time in terms of NBA history.
Yeah, like Sean said, we've literally never seen someone at this age be this productive, playing this many games and minutes. The guy's playing almost 35 minutes a game. He's being efficient. To me, that's the most impressive part. He's shooting almost 60% from the field. You see these crazy stat lines night in, night out, where he's 12 for 16, he's 13 for 17. But to me, the single most impressive thing is he's almost averaging 2 steals a game and a block. So he's not just doing it efficiently offensively. He's carrying the load defensively. He's active. And the dude's just having fun. You can see him last night when he smoked the lefty layup, how, as corny as that was, it's fun and he's enjoying it. Like you said, Michelle, he's getting up for a game against the Houston Rockets in November. It's just really impressive from start to finish, from head to toe. The guy is absolutely playing at an all NBA level. And I'd love to see him be rewarded on the defensive end and get him a all defensive team at 38 years old. It's unheard of.
Yeah, to piggyback off what Chandler said, I think the most impressive part of what we're seeing with LeBron is how much fun he's having and the expectation level that we still have for this 38-year-old man. Every time that he goes out, we still expect him to be great. We still expect the teams that he's going to play on, teams that he's going to anchor, to really be in a position to win championships and make the playoff runs. And to him, he has nothing left to prove. He's going out there having fun. He's enjoying himself. He knows that he's done everything that he can possibly do in the game of basketball. Everything that he's doing, he's literally a walking history book. Every single point that he scores, every assist, every rebound, it goes down as a part of history. He continues to build on that. So that's been the most impressive thing to me, is just how much fun he's having.
You know what's crazy is that when this whole thing, he wants to play with Bronny and he wants to, whoever drafts him is going to get LeBron on a minimum contract. That's just not happening anymore. He's about to get another max deal at this rate. So
it's going to cost
you. It's just not going to be like, Indiana drafted Bronny, LeBron's going there. Like, nah, man, he's going to get a contract for another 4 to 5.
Yeah, by the way, I love this scenario in which a team, and no offense, but that team like the Pacers would be calling the shots. Who are we kidding? Bronny's going to go where LeBron wants, and they're going to make all that happen wherever they want. Like, we've learned enough. We know what's going on. We also know a lot about LeBron in terms of he hears everything and he never forgets. And Dillon Brooks knows that as well, which is why this is the perfect scenario for these two to match up. And I wish they played each other over and over and over again, because LeBron hit him with the too small, which obviously
hit him with the too tiny.
The too tiny, tiny little. Look, he doesn't forget. And Dillon Brooks said he was going to lock him up last game. After the game, Rui Hachimura, who I don't believe I've ever even heard speak, said that Dillon wants to be a part of LeBron's legacy. All right, Chandler, how much do we love all of this, and how great is it for basketball?
Well, it's great, right? It's fun. We're talking about it. Everybody loves it. Everybody loves when there's a altercation, when there's a fight, when there's beef, there's a rivalry. And by the way, so do we. And so does the television, and that's why these games are getting so much attention. But yeah, it's safe to say this is who Dillon Brooks has become, right? His legacy. When he's done, we're not going to talk about his jumper, his time in Memphis. We're going to talk about he was the guy that got under people's skin, and he was tough, and he played dirt, or whatever it is. Well, yes, that. So Rui is right. We're definitely going to talk about him in this light. And me and Lou said it after last game. LeBron can act like he didn't care, but whatever the over/under was, we were taking the over, and he damn sure went on the over yesterday, because that man hears everything. He's just as petty as we all are, and that bothers him. And he went out there and he dominated. And Dillon Brooks, look, he played good too, but there's no way LeBron was not going to smack at him.
Dillon Brooks is a smart guy. He wants to be part of history. So I agree. I agree with Rui. Listen, Kobe Bryant had Raja Bell. He had Ruben Patterson. These guys were considered Kobe stoppers. Michael Jordan, he had the Detroit Pistons. They thought Byron Russell was the guy that was going to stop Michael Jordan. So he's right on par with being one of the top guys in the league. Dillon Brooks is trying to be that guy that they can tag along next to LeBron James' name when we're telling these great stories, along with Lance Stevenson. I don't think he's doing a great job of his name sticking. Keep trying, Dillon. Keep pushing forward. But right now, he's on par to trying to be a part of that history. So I like this assessment by Rui.
I love it. Dillon Brooks for me is worth the dollar to watch him play. And he's been playing pretty well this season. I think he's found himself in a good spot. 24. He had 4 steals last night. His team, I think they're doing fine as far as expectations are concerned, Lou. Do you think it's worth having Dillon on your team? Do you think there's ever a time where his words will end up being detrimental to what they're putting out on the floor?
Only time will tell. Right now, I think, what he and Fred VanVleet has done with their young group down there in Houston, they've energized these guys, and they've put a value back on vets on basketball teams, especially with the league moving in a direction where that last spot on the team is going to two-way guys. Those are the guys that is getting the opportunity to be on those teams, opposed to teams going out and signing vets to keep your locker room straight and kind of keeping some order in the court. With some of your young guys, they've been able to show that there's value in having veteran guys on your basketball team, and he's playing great basketball. And so for me, I don't want the antics to kind of overshadow that. I want him to be celebrated appropriately when he's playing like that. But he's doing a great job. So he's giving that Houston Rockets team a great boost.
Yeah, and listen, at the end of the day, there's nothing detrimental about a guy playing high minutes, shooting 50% from the three in the field, 13, 14 points, whatever it is. He's playing well. So, yes, that helps. All the other hoopla and the nonsense, when he's playing well and your team's winning, which they are starting off to do, yeah, now they go on a skid, they have a couple injuries, they lose 10 out of 12, then I think it's going to shed a different light on what he does and the tactics and the antics and everything he does. But right now he's talking and he's backing it up, and it turned out to be a really, really good signing for them. And we had Jabari on the show last week saying his praises, how they ride with him, they get his back. So it's clearly not an issue in the locker room yet.
Friend of the show. We have to now refer to everyone who's ever been on the show as friend of the show. That's the official way to do things. Lou, it's time to put our GM hats on. Lakers have won 5 of their last 6. As far as what they look like and how they're constructed now, what is their ceiling? Do they need to add another piece if we're going to take this thing deeper into the playoffs?
They always do. Usually they make a move but usually that comes after when they slide a little bit. And so I think this team is playing I wouldn't say really well. They're playing decent. They're right there in the middle of the pack with everybody else in the Western Conference. So this group is built pretty fine for me. You know, they're always active along the trade deadline, trying to find a guy that can probably put them over the hump or go find a piece, you know, somebody, something that's needed on that basketball team. And so I think the sky's the limit for them and a lot of teams in the West. You know, you got about 6 or 7 teams that's right there in that cluster, you know, going into December, who's gonna put themselves in a different position opposed to everybody else, go on a 3-4 win streak, go on a 3-4 game winning streak, and see what happens. And so I think the Lakers are right there, but you know they're always active, so we'll see.
All right, we got to talk.
Yeah,
go ahead. Sorry, Chandler.
No, you go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, you stop.
Okay, fine. You hang up. All right. I want to talk about Şengün, Alperen Şengün on the Houston side of things. He had 23, 10, and 5. He's just been a really fun story to watch. Nikola Jokic last year. What? Alperen Şengün, baby Jokic. And by the way, before you roll your eyes, in fairness, Nikola Jokic last year was calling for the team to play through Şengün. So he already has been on board with this dude. He knows what's up. But we want to talk ceiling here, Chandler, because baby Jokic is one hell of a nickname to put on someone. Mm-hmm. Is it possible that the ceiling is that high?
I mean, I don't know if it's going to be 2-time, looking like 3-time MVP high, but I'm rolling, Lou. This kid can hoop. When you watch him, he plays just like Jokic. Obviously, he's not as good. He hasn't done what Jokic has done. But when you watch him play, even the way he moves, the way he looks, his body shape, he's way more bouncier than Jokic, but he can catch the ball in that mid post. He can pass, find him in the pick and roll like this, where he can spray it out. He is one of those bigs that can kind of get a rebound, bring it up, get your offense. He can score. He's versatile. He's capable of going out and getting a triple-double. So, yeah, the similarities I see on the basketball court, and physically too. But we're comparing.
Is he the best player on that team?
On that team? Ooh, yeah, right? I think so.
Here we go.
Luke, he's averaging 28 and 5. No one else on that team is doing that.
Yeah, Lou.
This is month 1, Chandler. This is month 1. We hadn't played 15 games yet. We hadn't played 15 games.
Doubt.
I'm just saying.
I guarantee you it's 10 more guys. Fred VanVleet is the best player on that team.
He's the highest paid player on that team. He ain't the best player on the team.
I love Shams right now. Shams and I are
he's the highest paid because of what? He's probably gonna be the guy who's gonna lead them into some success deep in this season. But I like him though. Those numbers nothing to sniff at, man. 28 and 5 for a young kid. That's great. I'm just not rolling with the baby Jokic part.
I'm gonna tell you that there's never been a dude in the NBA that's averaging 20 where I didn't know his first name. This is the first time I've seen his first name, Alperen.
Oh wow, this is okay. It's Charles Barkley-esque. I love everything that's happening. But we're gonna put a pin in Şengün because I want to revisit this in like a month, 6 months. We want to come back because this is
He'll still be averaging a dub, and he'll be the best player on that team.
He's going to settle into that 15 and 5 that everybody likes to shame.
Wow. No, we're coming back to him. He's going to be all right. We had a double overtime thriller. I know it's early in the season, but good Lord, that's exhausting. Suns, Jazz. Suns win this one, 140-137. KD with 39, 10, and 8. Booker, 26. Markkanen threw in 38 points and 17 rebounds. There was a little bit of controversy at the end of this one. Lauri Markkanen gets the game-tying shot in the corner, forces a triple overtime, but KD's on the spot, and Markkanen gets the call, or does he? Eventually, that gets reversed, and Suns win. Should that never have been a call to foul, Chandler? Like,
well, it's interesting.
Yeah.
The rules gotten so different now where I've seen this get called flagrant before, like without KD getting him space to land. I think Lauri was fading away so much that when he went up, he didn't, look, he jumps in bounds and he lands out of bounds. So he clearly is going backwards, which is why I don't think it's a foul. There was no contact on the wrist or anything. I think if he went straight up and straight down and landed on KD's legs, then we're looking at a possible flagrant call, the way they call it these days. But it's just, you never really see this at the end of the game, on the foul, on the no foul, literally being determining the outcome. But I think that after they reviewed it, I think they got it right.
Yeah, I agree. I think they got this call right on both sides.
After 2 overtimes, what an exhausting way to end it. Damn,
It was risky though by KD, because that's a tough shot regardless whether he gets that close to him.
I kind of love it. I love that he did it. Look, they're barely over 500, Shams, and I, we haven't seen the big three. We were teased about it last week. Now it feels like, and you're reporting this, weeks away. What is going on with Bradley Beal?
Yeah, Bradley Beal will be reevaluated in 3 weeks, and I'm told he's been dealing with a disc issue in his back. He's been gutting through it. He suffered it in training camp, and even at some points, he's dealt with nerve irritation going down his legs from his back, and so he tweaked it in training camp. He's been dealing with it. They've had multiple MRIs, multiple exams, and there's been nothing structurally wrong. There's been no major issue, but this is a back. And anytime you have a back issue, you deal with discomfort, you deal with tightness on a day-to-day basis. And so the Suns hope that within these 3 weeks, Bradley Beal will be able to get better and hopefully make a return at some point in December. But for the Suns, this was really about, instead of him being day-to-day, literally every day and trying to push through it, and any given day he could be 60%, he could be 70% and try to play. The next day he could be 30% and then try to go through shoot around and not play. Like, instead of going through the back and forth, the Suns made the decision basically to shut Bradley Beal down. I think for them, they're not playing for November, December. They're playing to try to be into May and June. And so this was the decision they made with Brad Beal. I'm curious, Chandler, Lou's perspective as a player, when you're dealing with a back, when you're dealing with something that is nagging day to day, how do you deal with it as a player? Is this the right decision to just shut him down?
Yeah, I think with the back, I've been on record saying like back spasms. If you see that in like a Miami or LA or New York, usually that's horse shit. You guys are just sitting out one game, right? But now this is concerning. This is going on for weeks. Look at that now, a couple months. Like now this is interesting. When you look at the back or the hip or the neck, these are serious injuries. This isn't just a normal like ankle sprain or a knee surgery. The back is tricky. So to see him miss this much time is really concerning, because like you said, this is something you could wake up, you could have a good day, you could think you're playing, and all of a sudden it locks up again. And you're spending all your time when your team's practicing, you're in the training room, you're in the hot tubs and the cold tubs, you're getting massage and acupuncture. There's so much time and effort and so many things that Bradley's probably doing right now, and it's still not getting better. So that's what's concerning to me. I'm sure he's usually exhausting all his options. But again, this is just something that the back is tough, man. It lingers. It's like a hamstring. You can't rush it. You can't force it. The minute you think you feel good, boom, you're set back another 3-4 weeks. And I feel like that's what he did. He feels the pressure. He's the new guy. Everyone wants to see the hype of this trio, which puts more pressure and expectations on him to hurry back. And this is clearly something that's just lingering for him. So I hope it gets better, because this team, this is what we want to see. We want to see the big three, and we haven't been able to see that.
Okay, so that being said, we want to see this. When the acquisition happened, we were like, oh, this is going to be fun. That puts them somewhere near the top in the West, if not the top in the West. So concern wise, I know it's only November, but the fact that we haven't seen them together yet, Chandler, where is your concern level?
I mean, I'm concerned. Because Devin's also been in and out of the lineup, and I think this has been great for Kevin Durant to kind of take on that leadership role of this team, and it's been great for the other guys. You're seeing guys like Eric Gordon and Grayson Allen getting huge higher reps, scoring 20-plus points in games. You're seeing guys like Bates Diop that are in at the end of the game, that are getting key experience that will pay off. Because once this team's fully loaded, Nasir Little is not going to get those 14 minutes that he's getting now. So that is valuable experience for these guys come postseason to have those minutes played, to be doing all this, because their rotations are going to shorten when they do get this big three back. And Nurkic has been great for them all season long, holding down the paint. So you do see some promising things, and they're treading water decently. What are they, 7-6, we said?
Yep.
They're not great, but this is the team where they don't care who they're going to play in the playoffs. As long as they're fully healthy, give them the 8th seed, give them the 7th seed. They don't care, because they're that good to beat anybody, no matter what their seed is. But they got to get healthy, and they got to start playing together.
Which, I mean, at least we have a few more weeks to wait and see how that's going to work out. Lou, talk to me about gelling as a team. When you have 1/3 of your big lineup sitting on the bench, you're not sure when he's coming back. What's the mentality? Is it sort of, do you play as if he's not coming back for quite some time? Like, talk to me about gelling.
Yeah, you just do the best you can. You do the best you can with the group that you have on the floor and try to go out there and win as many basketball games. And I've dealt with this as a player with the Clippers when we had Kawhi and PG. You know, both of those guys were dealing with injuries. There were stretches where Kawhi was in the lineup, Paul wasn't. And then there were stretches when Paul was in the lineup, Kawhi wasn't. It took us months before we got those guys on the floor consistently together. And we had a hard time understanding who our group was and what our ceiling was going forward because we never could get a clear idea of lineups. We never could get a clear idea who was going to finish games and all of those things. And so it's difficult. It's difficult trying to go into a season, especially when you have such a high expectation to win basketball games. It's going to be difficult for them to understand what this group can truly do until they get all of those guys in uniform together.
Chandler, on the KD side of things, he hasn't missed a game yet. He's playing 36 minutes a game. I'm not complaining, but I'm just wondering, long term, what are we thinking about this strategy early on?
Yeah, it's got to be a little concerning for them just with his age and his history and the minutes he's playing. But KD's a hooper. He's not just going to sit out games. He's enjoying this right now. You can see he's got the edge. He's got the fire. He loves what's happening right now. And he seems to be fully healthy, and he's playing very, very well. Now, as a front office, if I'm a coaching staff, I'm probably starting to limit his minutes, maybe I don't know how they're going to throw in a load of minutes a game here. But, yeah, it's just funny that this is such a topic these days because everyone back in the day was expected to play, and now we're concerned after him playing all 12 games. Like, that's some sort of accomplishment. But it is. It is. And with the injuries he's had, it is a little concerning. But, I mean, listen, they got to stay in the hunt somehow. When you take KD off this already hobbled team, then they're in real trouble. So thank God that he's still able to play and he's playing high minutes.
Listen, I can't sign up for this new NBA we're proposing, man. God forbid we have a star player who's played every game and's played a lot of minutes. We should get used to this. Yes, we should get used to this. This should be the standard. If you're healthy, you can go out and play. You can go out and compete at a high level. Go out and do it. That is why you are one of the stars of the NBA. That is why these kids love you. That is why everybody signs up as a fan of your brand. It's because you go out and you compete and you do your thing. And so kudos to KD for going out there and putting it on the line. This new NBA, it's like it's an asterisk next to your name if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. KD is going out there hooping. Like Chandler just said, this is somebody that you can find playing in the park. This is a guy that you can find playing pickup ball, playing in pro-ams, playing in celebrity games. He's going to hoop. And so hats off to KD for going out there and doing everything that he can do to try to keep this team going.
Well, he better, because the West is a very interesting place. Also with these next two teams, Kings and Mavericks, doing quite well early on in the season. De'Aaron Fox, good Lord, leads his team over the Mavericks 129-113. It's the 6th straight win for Sacramento. He had 37-4, Sabonis with 32, 13-6. And of course, we got to talk Luka, 35, 10-7. But De'Aaron Fox so far has been unstoppable. He's played in 7. We know he missed a few, but he's averaging a league tying almost 32 points a game. If we're looking ahead, can he be the best player on a championship contending squad, Chandler?
I mean, yes, it depends how good the second and third option are. He's going to need help. He's not ready for that right now, but he's so young and he's so exciting. And he's this new John Morant this year that is so much fun to watch. He's explosive. He's bouncy. He can shoot the 3 ball. I mean, I know it's 7 games, small sample size, but he's averaging 32 a game. That is absolutely insane. And again, I think their team last year, with the experience that they got, it's helping them even more during this regular season. I can't wait for the postseason. I can't wait to see them take that next step if they do take the next step. But yeah, going forward, this kid is an absolute star. He has taken the next step. He is getting better every single year of his career. And I do think he can be a number 1 guy eventually on a championship team. It's just he still needs help. Everybody does.
He's right there, man. He's crossing over to be one of the best players in the league, not just one of the best guards, one of the best players in the entire league. And so what Chandler just said was true. Who you put with him, Sabonis is a really good guy, but you put another guy in that third spot that really gives them an opportunity in that Western Conference to compete. I think the sky's the limit for this group.
So do you guys, we'll start with you, Lou. Do you think that they need another piece to be serious playoff team? Or do you think, look, they could be a playoff team now, obviously, as is. If it started today, they're in good shape.
They're a playoff team for sure.
Yeah. But what else, what do you need? Like in your perfect world, what would you add?
In this perfect world, I wouldn't add anything. I would allow these guys to grow and mold together as a unit. If you're seeing success, sometimes the grass isn't green on the other side. Usually your grass is just fine if you continue to water it. So keep this group together, allow these guys to mesh, allow them to gel, create chemistry, give them 2 or 3 years to get this thing going. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I think they have their guard Fox and they have their big Sabonis. I'd love to see them go and add one of these wing names that we keep hearing about, whether it's LaVine or DeMar or Siakam, depending on who they have to give up. I also love some of their young players. But yeah, you could throw in a Harrison Barnes, a Kevin Huerter, some picks, and get one of those guys. Now I think it's a more trustworthy big three going into the postseason when you're looking at these duos and these trios in the NBA. I think someone like that, a veteran guy, more experience, can put the Sacramento Kings over the top, because we know they're going to have a great regular season. Their roster is built. They're young. They're going to play a lot of games. They're going to win a lot of games. It's just, do we trust them in the postseason? And I don't yet. So I think they need to. I think they need to add one more piece like that, and then I think they're truly contenders.
It's fun.
Chandler, are we talking? I'm sorry to cut you off, Michelle. Chandler, are we talking short term or long term as far as moves you would like to see them make?
I would love to see like Zach LaVine, someone like that who's in his prime. If you can not give up too much, not give up, a Murray, and you can get off some of these other ways that they have, to have that dude who can go and get you buckets and help unload the pressure on Fox and Sabonis and have that real big three for the next 3 to 5 years. Yeah, I think the Kings, they could be a solid contender. Right now, you see wide open. The Minnesota Timberwolves, again, it's early. Minnesota Timberwolves are number 1 in the Western.
What?
It's crazy. So it's wide open. It's early. I think everything's going to kind of balance out as the season progresses. But yeah, I think they're one vet wing away that can go and get 25 a night. That, obviously anybody can use that. This team has the infrastructure that would really help.
Minnesota's number 1. I love early parts of the season. Shams, the Mavericks are 9-5. When I think back to all the minutes and hours we spent talking about Luka and Kyrie and how's this going to work, so far, so good. What's been working?
I think the chemistry between those two, you can finally see when they got Kyrie Irving second half of last season, it got put together so quick, and those guys were in and out of the lineup sometimes. And when they did play with each other, sometimes they just looked like it just didn't fit. But I think you give yourself a full training camp, you build chemistry. Those two guys spending more time around each other, I think, has helped as well. And then you start to add players to this roster that help and help the chemistry and help the flow. And Grant Williams has been a big-time addition for them. He's a leader on and off the floor. He's a guy that you can depend on. 11 points, almost 50% from three-point range. Derek Lively is their rookie. He's been fantastic. So they have a group now that's finally playing hard. They're building chemistry. Everyone has a defined role. Tim Hardaway Jr. is that sixth man coming off the bench. He's not fighting for that starting spot next to Luka. Like, that's defined. So I think for them, it's all about chemistry. They don't really have any moves to really make trade-wise. They made their big move last year. But piggybacking off of what they said about the Kings just now, I think this is the first time in a really long time. Maybe when Chris Webber was with the Kings, that you can look at the Kings as like a trade destination. They're going to be involved in every star player, Pascal Siakam, OG Anunoby, maybe Zach LaVine, whenever stars become available, because Monty McNair, that organization, they've done a good job at keeping their assets. They have tradable contracts, so they're going to be a player for stars coming up for sure. I think eventually they could add a third piece.
Hold on, Shams. Why are these two making faces on the end? What's going on?
Shams, you ever been to Sacramento, Shams?
I knew it was coming.
I'm just saying they have the pieces, they have the assets, and they have a team that could be.
Have you ever?
I have been to Sacramento. I went to their first game against the Warriors. It was crazy packed. It was lit.
Have you ever lived in Sacramento, Shams?
That I've never done.
Now, basketball-wise, you make a great case. But when it comes to free agency, City is very much a part of that decision.
That's why they have to trade for someone.
Got to trap
they got to
someone.
trade for someone.
They got to trap. It won't be voluntary. I guarantee it. Now, when they get there, they'll probably fall in love with the fan base. Sacramento is one of the great places to play, great basketball environment. You'll probably get stuck there once you're there, fall in love with the culture of the fans and the people, but nobody's just going.
Wow, I did not have Lou on my bingo card this morning, being the City guy. It's always Chandler.
He took Chandler's spot.
Yeah,
So-
I don't even.
Something must have went down in Sacramento.
Well said, Lou. Well said.
Well said. Wow. Okay, we're going to take a break right now. When we come back, Shams, it's time for the scoops when Run It Back returns.
Run it back, run it up, run it back, run it up, run it back, yeah.
Beep, 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 beep. Yeah, Shams, scoop time. All right, last week you reported that Zach LaVine and the Bulls have a openness about possibly finding some sort of a trade situation. Then we saw some stuff over the weekend blowing off post-game. Not very happy. I don't know if you guys all saw this, but it was a actual certified blow-off of a post-game interview. Are we going to see a deal done sooner rather than later? Yeah, this is classic. Oops. Are we going to see a deal done sooner rather than later?
Yeah, for this situation, I actually reached out to Rich Paul, his agent at Clutch Sports, and asked him about it. And Rich Paul's quote to me was, "Is being blown out of proportion. That actually happens more times than not. It's just the timing of it with the trade talks makes it out to something it's not. Players run away avoiding post-game interviews all the time. This does happen from time to time. Some get caught on camera, some don't. There's always a push and pull. Some guys don't even want to talk after games. But no matter any of that, basically where this stands with Zach LaVine and the Bulls is for the first time Zach LaVine has shown an openness for a trade. I think the Bulls are also in the same boat and seeing the market and seeing what is out there for Zach LaVine. We've been talking for the last couple years about the Bulls. Which direction are they going? Are they going to finally look to retool? Look for the Lakers, Heat, 76ers, Raptors, all expected to have level of interest in Zach LaVine. The thing here, though, is there's going to be a delay of some sort. Like a team like the Lakers, they're not going to be able to make a move with D'Angelo Russell, Rui Hachimura, guys like that until December, January. So there are these trigger dates in the calendar where a guy like D'Angelo Russell, he can't be traded until December 15th. Rui Hachimura can't be traded until January 15th. But this is a massive contract Zach LaVine's on. This is the second year of a 5-year, $215 million deal. So this is one of the best contracts in the NBA. You can make a case. And so which team is going to be there to take that on?
I love when people are in trade talks and then we start to dissect their clothing choices, Chandler. So here we have Zach LaVine wearing an LA hat after the Bulls loss on Wednesday. Do we like him as a Laker?
First of all, the post-game interview, Sean, that was crazy. And usually you don't turn down the on-the-court interviews in front of everybody because even if he's not in trade rumors, it's a bad look to do that and like to kind of storm out like that. So like this I wouldn't say is the norm. Yes, the press conference. Yes, taking a shower, not speaking to media, just dipping out of the locker room. That's common. I've played that game before. On the court's different. Yeah, sure.
She made it worse.
Would be great. He definitely made it worse. The Lakers would be great, but like Sean said, I think it's got to have to be later in the season where you put a D-Lo in the trade, you put a Rui in the trade, and then I think that they would immensely make that team better. But yeah, as far as his hat, like I wear Yankee hats all the time. I don't like
How
Yankees.
dare you? You don't even hold up. You don't like the Yankees and you wear a Yankee hat?
I'm a Dodger fan all day. It's now we're reaching. We're reaching if we're looking at the guy's hat.
I don't think we're reaching. I also think we need to really get into the fact that you wear a hat of a team you don't even like. That's weird.
It's called fashion.
Like fashion. Shut up.
Just a color, Michelle. It matched the shirt.
Yeah,
That's so weird. Are you in agreement, Lou? Like as a Laker, but obviously we have to wait till December, January.
I would see him with the Lakers. I also like him with Philly as well. You know, Philly has established themselves with Joel and Maxey. Give them another guy that can stretch their floor out. Give them another playmaker. I like him in Philadelphia as well.
I mean, Philly's doing all right. Do they become, I don't know, in your mind, actual title contenders if you add a LaVine?
We'll see. I don't know. I really like Zach, but yeah, no diss to Zach. I really like his game. I really like what he's bringing to the table. But does he take a team from point 1 to point 2? Is he that much of a difference maker? Remains to be seen. You know, he's one of the marquee guys in Chicago, and I would like to see those guys get it right there with all of the talent that they have on that team, and we haven't seen it. So I'm just not sure. I'm not sold on it.
Yeah, and it's interesting too because he's with DeMar and Boosh. We're also very good, and it's not working.
Two more All-Stars.
Is he a guy that's going to take a good team Philly to really good? I don't know. I think he is what they need. I think he can get that wing option, handle on pick and roll, space the floor, get out in transition. I think, basketball-wise, it sounds like it makes sense. But a lot of times when you add someone like that too, it can hurt you more than you help. And it kind of goes back to the Clipper thing that we were talking about before. Don't fix what's not broken. On Philly, it's a little scary.
Yeah.
And shout out to we're 40 minutes into the show. Yeah, and that was the first Clipper mention. There. Shout out to good day. Winning songs off. Winning songs off.
We're winning. They play the Spurs tonight and Wednesday. That'll be fun. DeMar DeRozan, by the way, expiring contract. I'm assuming, Chandler, if you're DeMar DeRozan, you're asking for a trade right now behind the scenes? Like, what is the mindset you think for him?
Yeah, all of them. Him, Booch, Caruso. We've been saying this. We've been saying this since running back started last year. This was the team that once they got off to a bad start, break it up. They got off to a bad start and they didn't break it up. Now all summer long, what do? And now this season, same thing. Slow start. Now all of a sudden there's murmurs. But yeah, I think this is a team that's going to completely go into rebuilding. I wouldn't even say tanks. I think they can get a lot of assets, a lot of picks, a lot of solid talent for these guys. I don't think they're going to completely go and tank, but yeah, I think it's officially time. They're not contending. They're not going to add anything that's going to help them be this contender all of a sudden. Get rid of everybody, kind of start over and go from there. But this is something that I thought they were going to do last year.
DeMar's one of those guys I actually like on the Lakers. I can see that fit being something that works out. He's plays with his back to the basket. He's a methodical player. That Lakers team, sometimes they come down. They like to work through their sets, play through guys out of the post, play through LeBron out of the post, AD sometimes. And so DeMar gives him that look where, you can give the ball to him in a half-court setting and go get a bucket down the stretch of basketball game. So personally, I want to see him get out of Chicago, continue his career, and get on a contender. I think that'd be a good fit for him.
Well, then that means I got to go to Shams. I mean, we're talking DeMar DeRozan. It feels like this entire Bulls squad is up in the air, maybe fire sale. But what's the latest with DeMar DeRozan?
DeMar DeRozan's had conversations about an extension with the Bulls, but they're far apart. There hasn't been a deal, obviously, yet. And I think DeMar DeRozan now is at a point where he can sit back and just see how the situation plays out with the team, with Zach LaVine, because clearly that appears to be the focus right now in Chicago, is finding a potential landing spot for him. So DeMar DeRozan's in this position now where he can just sit back, watch. He doesn't really have to, I think, move. And if a team does make an aggressive bid for him, he'll be right there. And I think, obviously, there's an openness to really anything in Chicago now.
Man, you knew it was bad when they had a players-only meeting after the first game. This is rough. That man has a family. Time to see some videos. Here we go. First up, Max Strus. Oh, that's not right.
Wait a minute. Okay, Strus.
I didn't even know he could do that.
I feel like we didn't see this in Miami.
Right? What's that about? Huh. And that's a rookie. I mean, that's,
He's got a lot more free time in Cleveland to be working on his calf raise in Miami.
What's wrong with you? That was fun. All right, here we go.
Oh my.
Yes, I did see this week.
And
that icy court, it's like a whole vibe with the blue court and everything. I love it. Dang, that hurts.
That's a clean one too.
You like the courts, Michelle? Now you like the courts?
I like some of the courts. I've been on record as saying I do. That looks cool because it's ice tray, icy move. I mean, you can really see the vibe here, can't you?
It fits. It fits.
It fits. It's like a Hollywood moment.
There was a red court this past week that was so bad.
I wonder which one you're thinking of.
Oh,
Okay.
This is crazy. This
is
was
fun.
crazy.
we had a good weekend. These guys was at it this week.
Oh yeah.
Dang. That's not nice to show, but I do think it's a great move. That San Antonio court's weird to me. It has like kind of a Santa Fe vibe.
Oh wait, that's San Antonio?
so bad.
Yeah, see? Exactly.
These courts suck, man. It is what it is. They suck.
Yeah, they're bad.
Some of them are not
we're
bad.
supposed to be
Lonnie
talking
Walker.
about the dunks.
Yeah, no. Here you go. Normal. Back to normal. Okay, Lonnie.
This was, I saw a video of this in slow motion. This was crazy.
He dunked on the
Oh,
whole
I thought you were
team.
going to say, I saw the video of him working out yesterday. I was like, this is a weird, sweaty video that's on the internet right now. I think he posted it, so, things are happening. Thirst trap.
Look at Joel's trying to go for the chase down block, bronze style. Just couldn't get it that time.
It's just not the same. Is it?
Yeah.
Can I just say, we saved the best for last? That. Russell Westbrook. Oh.
If this wasn't Dylan Brooks, there's no way this takes the cut.
I mean, there's the picture of it from like this. It's just really.
Oh, he
Ew.
got the foul call. He got the foul call.
What even happened?
There it is. There.
There it is. Yeah, that's
That
frameable.
is. That's a poster. I don't know if kids have posters anymore, but that's a poster.
They
I would
don't.
have had that poster.
They don't.
They don't?
They do
That
not.
makes me sad. God, you
Where
just
would
go
you
to
even get
Walmart.
the poster from?
I don't know, Walmart or something. I don't know, internet.
Make it an NFT. There's no more posters.
I thought we all agreed that
No
NFT was not a real thing. Okay, maybe we
They're
didn't.
screensavers
All right,
now.
coming up, taking a quick break. When we come back, we're going to take a look at some very surprising starts on Run It Back.
Run it up, then run it back. Run it back. Run it up, run it back. Run it.
Oh, yes. Many, many headlines to get to. Very fun young teams happening right now. Oklahoma City, I would think, would be at the top of that list, Shams. They're very young, third youngest in the NBA. And as we know, Sam Presti's just been hoarding draft picks forever. The blueprint in OKC is what exactly?
I think it's obviously building around this young nucleus. They haven't gone, you haven't seen them go and make a big trade for a veteran player. They've really grown organically, and development has always been the name of the game in Oklahoma City. They go and trade for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander a few years ago in 2019, and I think him and his development has been a big part of it, but getting Josh Giddey, getting Chet Holmgren, getting Jalen Williams, they've been building internally. And Chet Holmgren and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander the other night against the Warriors, 35 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks. First teammates ever in NBA history to record those stats in the same game together. So when you watch Chet Holmgren play, how polished he is, I think that 1 year, last year, even though he was out, helped him a lot. You can see he knows how back-to-backs are. He knows the day-to-day grind of the NBA because he lived it last season, even though he didn't play. So to me, it's all about development. We saw what they did a decade plus ago with KD, Westbrook, Ibaka, Harden. And it's really, they've got the same type of nucleus, the same type of firepower now. And like you said, Michelle, 14 first-round picks they can trade. They have 22 second-rounders they can trade. They have like a dozen swaps they can trade. So this is an Oklahoma City team that when that star does become available, the guy that they really want to trade for, they have more assets than anyone.
Do you see that? By the way, it's like playing Monopoly and the one person has everything. Do you see them making a trade for a veteran that's out there right now? Is that something you can even see coming down the pipe?
I don't know if like Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Pascal Siakam from an age perspective, from a contract perspective, I don't know if those guys fit. I don't know what star that'll be. I don't sense that it's one of those, but I think eventually there's going to be a marquee player, probably a guy that we're not talking about that they end up trading for.
That'd be great. And I know it's not a destination town, you two, but that would be a fun young team to be a part of. I would think if you're a veteran, they've won 5 in a row, 2 of which, by the way, were against Golden State. Chandler, the hot start that they're having. Are you surprised? Did you expect it? What do you see this doing in the future?
No, I'm not surprised at all. We saw this last year from SGA. He has taken that step where he is an absolute star. He's gotten better every single year. He's putting up insane numbers. And me and Lou hit it on Chet as well. That last year, it's almost not fair. It's like the Blake Griffin Rookie of the Year. When you spend that much time, a full season with that staff, he's not a rookie. So, and you see him, the way he's playing, he doesn't play like a rookie. And I think the success of those two and just what's Sam Presti's done, I'm a GM. I'm jocking everything this guy does. The fact that they have the youngest, most exciting, most promising future, and they're still winning games. It's like they're going through this transition without losing, with getting all these picks. And like Shams just said, there's going to come a time where they make a move, and they're not going to have to include Jalen Williams. They're not going to have to include Giddey, SGA, or Chet. So they have those four guys. I'm sure they're willing to throw in Dort, Isaiah Joe, Casey Wallace, the great rookie. I think he's a promising rookie. But these guys have them, but they have their four young guys that they're going to build with. This is going to be a team to beat in the early future.
The process, it's working here. Lou, I just want to remind you that Chet against the Warriors on Saturday, his line 36-10, 4 assists, 2 blocks, 2 steals. As far as number 2s go, where are you putting him? He's legit?
Legit, absolutely. I had to see more. You know, I didn't get an opportunity to see him play a lot in college. So for him being injured, I didn't really see his game. I really didn't see much. And so now I'm getting an opportunity to get a sneak peek into how special this kid is. And he's a legit guy. He's a great number 2 for SGA, as you can see right here.
Whew.
Big time shot to take it into overtime. All of the pressure isn't on SGA. I was a big fan of Giddey. So to see how this team is evolving into one of those contending teams in the Western Conference is really exciting. And so I really like Chet as the number 2 option on this team.
Man, this hour flew by. We got to take a quick break here. When we come back, we will wrap things up on a Monday edition of Run It Back.
Run it back, run it up, run it back, run it up, run it back.
Guys, I know last week when Snoop Dogg went on the internet and was like, I'm giving up smoke, I know a lot of us were worried. But the punchline has been delivered. It was never going to give it up, obviously. Do you know what it was for, by the way? Do you know what this whole thing was for? We just learned about 45 minutes ago. A smokeless fire pit. How much money do you think they paid him? I know it's something called Solo Stove, but now we're all going to be talking about it. So brilliant. A week-long ad campaign for a guy like
Nobody
Snoop?
believed him anyways.
No, nobody believed him. I thought he came up with
Snoop
some
Dogg
crazy
is smoking.
cannabis. No, that's his life. And that's why part of the reason why we love him. Guys, we are on tomorrow and Wednesday before we all get fatter for the holiday break. So we will see you bright and early on Tuesday.
Run it up, run it back, yeah. Run it up, run it back, 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 run it up.